Greetings, music lovers. I'm John Platt, and this is On Your Radar, the virtual version, the socially distant streaming version of On Your Radar. And I'm delighted that you have made some time for us tonight because we have some great performers. It's a sultry night in New York City. How is it wherever you are? I hope you either have a air conditioner or open windows or perhaps a cool lake to jump into. Our performers tonight are coming from Connecticut, North Carolina, and Colorado. And we'll have 30-minute sets from each of them, along with a short Q&A, which I'll do before each of their sets. So I hope you'll stay for all three sets. And I invite you to put your comments on the comment board, because I know they'd like to hear from you. And I think you should definitely show your appreciation at paypal.me on your radar 2020. I think the thing should be on the screen right now. So please give and give often, because it's all for the benefit of these performers. So our first performer tonight is in the mountains. He's Thom Chacon, and we can bring Thom in. There you are, Thom. How are you?
Good to see you, John. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. So what's it like in the mountains?
Well, it's warm by our standards. We're in the about 7,000 feet. It's pretty dry out here, but it's also monsoon season, so we're getting a few monsoon showers every afternoon, and hoping we can keep that going to keep the fires down.
Yeah, that's a real danger, I know. But that's not where you're from originally. Where are you from originally, Thom?
Yeah, originally I grew up in Northern California, Sacramento, there in the Sacramento Valley, where it's really hot this time of year.
Yeah.
I talked to an old bandmate who's in Sacramento. They're looking at 105 degrees the next couple of days. So. Yeah,
that's brutal. So how did you end up in Durango? I think it had something to do with the sports or something, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, for me, I like to spend a lot of time outdoors, and I like to go fly fishing. And so I was looking for a place where there were more trout than people, and I found it here in Durango.
But I know that you actually recorded at least one album in my neck of the woods on Long Island with Perry Margouleff.
Yes. The famous Pie Studios out there in Glen Cove.
Yeah.
Perry Margouleff, who had owned that studio for damn near 30 years, did a great job. He was and still is a proponent of 2-inch tape and analog recordings. So we did 3 or 4 albums at Pie there in Glen Cove, all on 2-inch tape.
Talk about old school. And speaking of old school, Mary Gauthier has some great praise for you. And I hope it won't embarrass you if I quote Mary. She's a good friend of mine. Thom Chacon's music is simple, but don't mistake that for lack of depth. Simple writing is the hardest writing and always the best. His songs are packed with rich imagery and instantly relatable sensibilities. Now, I think of Mary as being a great example of simple, direct writing herself, and I think she was influenced directly much by John Prine, and she's copped to that. Who are some of the people, maybe beyond Mary, who are influences for you?
Well, like a lot of songwriters, the influences, that list is long. As a kid, I listened to Jim Croce quite a bit. My mom in particular really loved Glenn Campbell. And then as I got older, I got into bands like Wilco and then, even Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, their songwriting, I think, is really good. And we're still missing Chris Cornell. But then beyond that, Lucinda Williams and Willie and Johnny Cash, and of course the late great John Prine. We just lost him recently, so the list is long, but those are some of them. Yeah,
that's a distinguished list. Your background is Hispanic. Can you say to what extent it might be influencing either your worldview or your songwriting?
Sure. Yeah, my last name is Chacon, and my dad's family came from Mexico. So we're half Mexican. My mom was 100% Lebanese, so half Mexican, half Lebanese. Yeah. Now the influence on my writing comes from both sides of the family. I love history. I love the history of families. I think everyone has an interesting background. But I was born in San Diego in Chula Vista, which is about 7 miles from the border at Tijuana. And so my dad would take me across the border, a couple times a month to shop and buy pastries, and we get our hair cut. And so that had a powerful influence on me that I still have to this day. So I sometimes write about, immigrants coming across the border and the downtrodden and, people of that sort. So yeah, my background has had a huge influence.
Yeah, well, and you certainly address America in many ways in your songs. In fact, you have an EP out right now called The American Way.
Yeah, that's right.
So are we likely to hear any of the songs from that tonight?
Yes. In fact, I'll play the title track to that EP along with a couple of others. But, it's pretty obvious we're in a volatile moment in American history and world. The world itself has kind of been turned upside down. So I think a lot of us writers are feverishly, putting pen to paper right now. And I've been thinking about these things for a long time. But that's the title track to the album, American Way.
Yeah, well, you helped set us right. Please enjoy Thom Chacon on your radar.
Thanks for having me.
Blowing in the wind, sun shining through. Faded stars and stripes of the red, white, and blue. Some pushing hate, some preaching love. In the divided states of America. Who you gotta kill, who you gotta pay to live free or die the American way. To live free or die the American way. Well, who was here first? Was it him or me? Well, we ain't got a grab if we ain't Cherokee. There's a woman yelling justice, let her voice be heard. There's a man over there saying trust my word. Can't tell me who to love, can't tell me what to say. I'm gonna live free or die the American way. Live free or die the American way. Well, you can't hear me and I can't hear you over the deafening sounds of the counterfeit news. I won't give in to fear, I believe in hope. Think I'll go out tonight and cast my load. Can't take my guns, don't tell me how to pray. I'm gonna live free or die the American way. Live free or die the American way. Hear the baby crying, there's a mama giving birth to the luckiest child in the greatest country on earth. How we doing, everybody? My name's Thom Chacon, coming to you from Durango, Colorado, here in my camper. Rain coming down outside. Monsoon season. I'm gonna play that one for you now. Monsoon rain, I feel you coming on strong, burning slow like a lover done wrong. Heading north, old Mexico, over the hill to Durango, Colorado, blowing hard like a hurricane. Lord, I swear I love monsoon rain. Monsoon rain, you're running through my veins like the steel wheels on a narrow gauge train. It's raining hard down a Baker's Bridge, growing dark over Missionary Ridge. Thunder and lightning like a hurricane. Lord, I swear I love a monsoon rain.
We're having a couple of technical difficulties. I'm going to see if we can't fix this real quick. John, if you would be willing to come on screen for a little bit and chat with us, that would be wonderful.
Out to the sea, I can find my peace among the trees. I can hide here from the storm in my church of the great outdoors. In my church of the great outdoors. In my church of the great outdoors. All right, that's called Church of the Great Outdoors, and it's going to be on my next album, actually, that with any luck we can put out here pretty soon, before 2021. Wrote this song quite a few years ago. Here comes that monsoon wind. Gonna try and batten down the hatches here, folks. It's called Juarez, Mexico. I can see across the border to the El Paso side. I can hear the music blaring, people laughing in the night. Where I'm standing there is a darkness and a big river flows. I'm stuck down here in Juarez, Mexico. Tonight I lay near the water, sleep with one eye closed, my finger on the trigger, my other arm around Rose. I got plans for us to leave here, think about it every day. On a moonless night, me and Rosie will slip away. I ain't gonna die in these streets for nothing. I ain't gonna starve another day. Made up my mind, I'm leaving, doesn't matter where we go, as long as we get at Juarez, Mexico. By the time we cross the river, we will be Texas bound. Stay the hell at Arizona, I hear the law can cut you down. Find work and honest living, don't care what people say. Do a better job, work more hours for lower pay. I ain't gonna die in these streets for nothing. Made up my mind, I'm leaving. Doesn't matter where we go, as long as we get at what is Mexico. Rosie burns the bacon and chilies on a hot cedar fire, and off in the distance another funeral pyre. These days I dream of America and hope someday I'll go, but tonight I'll pray for what is Mexico. Yeah, What is Mexico off my 2013 self-titled record. Gonna play a song I've been playing lately about my kids. I mentioned my wife and I live here in Durango, live on this property. We're lucky to have a little bit of space. Florida River tucked away right back there. I know during this pandemic, not everybody has a bunch of green space around them, and you know, the folks that are stuck in small apartments, we're thinking about you, hoping you're staying safe. My wife and I live here with our 2 kids. We have a 4-year-old boy and a 4-month-old baby girl. Wrote this one for them. It's called Lessons of Life. You were born in the mountains on a stormy day. Dark clouds on the horizon, sunshine through anyway. Your mom bred and I was worried that you had finally arrived. We knew we would protect you from the hard lessons of life. They're good and they're evil people, some are just plain mean. Someday someone gonna break your heart, bring you down to your knees. Just remember that we love you, and you're gonna be alright. You'll find a world full of beauty, some hard lessons of life. Hard lessons of life. Know when to love and when to fight. You'll find a world full of beauty, some hard lessons of life. Had a dream you were driving, must been about 18. Had the car packed to the ceiling with your guitar and all your things. Maybe you're off to college, and maybe you're gonna join a band or the Peace Corps. I know you'll reach great heights. You'll find a world full of beauty, some hard lessons of life. Hard lessons of life. Know when to love and when to fight. You'll find a world full of beauty, some hard lessons of life. lessons of life. Know when to love and when to fight. You find a world full of beauty, some hard lessons of life. You find a world full of beauty, some hard lessons of life. Well, thanks for listening. That one's for my kiddos. I'm gonna play a song for you. Wrote a bunch of years ago. I went in and played for the inmates at Folsom Prison back in July of 2004. In fact, just had that anniversary. July 4th, actually, Independence Day of all days. And of course, that was a profound experience. You know, you go in there and you see these people who are locked up, and they have this look of survival in their eyes, one you just can't forget. But it felt good to go in there and play for those 350 inmates, just to give them a break for a minute, a reprieve for an hour and a half. We all make mistakes, some worse than others, but I thought they deserved some music. And any songwriter that's trying to write songs goes through an experience like that, and you make art out of it. Yeah, that's what I tried to do. I wrote this song for those guys, about those guys. It's called Troubled Soul. Had a dream last night that I was free. I was standing on a hill staring out at the sea. Now I'm back in this cage just like before. No light, no hope, just a cold steel door. Troubled soul, my troubled soul. Lord, shine a light on my eyes of coal. Lift me up above these granite walls and free my body from my troubled soul. I saw some hate, so I grew up mean. For a fistful of cash I do it quick, do it clean. Don't know my dad, never heard his name. From what I hear, we're pretty much the same. Troubled soul, my troubled soul. Lord, shine a light on my troubled soul. Lift me up above these granite walls. Free my body from my troubled soul. Another lonely night in the cold hard clink. Nothing to do but count the days and think. Got a ramshackled mind, faded tattoos. Lying here with the reformatory blues. Troubled soul, my troubled soul. Lord, shine a light on my eyes of coal. Lift me up above these granite walls. Deliver me, Lord, from my troubled soul. troubled soul, my troubled soul. Lord, shine a light on my troubled soul. Lift me up above these granite walls. Deliver me, Lord, from my troubled soul. Hey, thank you. I got my 4-year-old here. He's listening in. Hey, Dylan. Gotta be quiet, okay? We're recording. I know. He's been a good boy. He's hanging out with me in the camper. Maybe he's got headphones on and we got him all outfitted. Say hello, buddy. Well, he's having fun. We don't let him watch that thing too much, but you know, with 2 kids, you gotta divide and conquer, and that's what we're doing. So baby girl's inside with my wife, and young Dylan here is hanging out with me, and he's being really, really quiet. Thank you, son. So here we are in the middle of this pandemic here, and these days could not be stranger for everybody. I know, doesn't matter where you are on the planet. So I want to take a minute to thank the doctors and nurses and firefighters and firemen and women, and the people who are keeping us all nice and safe. So my wife, Bess, is an RN, and can't say enough about those folks during this difficult time. They're irreplaceable. I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna play a song I wrote for my wife. But this goes out to all those people I just mentioned, because they have hearts that are as big as the moon, and that's what this song's called. Wake up slow, wake up hurting, find my way through disgrace, and I can find forgiveness in the look on your face, staring at my shoes, wondering why you stay. Well, you got a heart as big as the moon, you got a light, kills all them blues. And I got some things I'm still trying to prove. You got a heart as big as the moon. When I'm losing, I keep losing. I'm always down in this game. Well, only you can stop the bleeding. Only you know what to say. You got a heart as big as the moon. You got a light, fills up this room, and I got some things I'm still trying to prove. a heart as big as the moon. Hey, thank you for listening. I want to take a minute to thank John Platt. John, appreciate your support all these years of my music. Dylan, no sir. I got the drum machine going over here. John, thank you so much for having me on your radar, on your show. I want to thank Rob Hinkle as well for making this happen, making the sound and the video possible. So thanks, Rob. I'm gonna play one more tune for you. Again, thanks for listening. My name's Thom Chacon. This one's called Borderland. Thousand miles, battered and bruised, bloody clothes and worn out shoes. We saw freedom, it was in our hands. Now we're all doing time down here at the borderland. Guards are walking detention grounds. Babies crying, sleeping on the ground. They took our mother and they took our dad. Now it's just me and my sister down here at the borderland. The sun don't shine in this dark hole. Dusty headlights of the border patrol. The Texas sky, tears are raining down. Between heaven and hell down here at the borderland. Ain't got a name, I'm just a number now. Do what you're told, keep your head down. We saw freedom across the Rio Grande. Now we're all doing time down here at the borderland. The sun don't shine in this dark hole. Dusty headlights of the border patrol. The Texas sky, tears are raining down. Between heaven and hell down here at the borderland. Between heaven and hell down here at the borderland. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks again, John Platt, on your radar. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next time.
John, when you mute yourself, I cannot unmute you. Please unmute yourself on your end. Oh, and I think you hit the button twice, man. You're being very strong. Hit that button one more time. I got faith. There we go. Thanks, John.
It should be unmuted, right? All right. Well, I thank Thom Chacon for his great set. I thank Rob Hinkle for his patience. And I thank you who are out there watching wherever you are for being patient with us while we're in the process of wrangling all these little technical difficulties. But what I was starting to say, if you couldn't read lips, was that Thom Chacon, you can find him at thomchacon.com, and you'll find the PayPal link to thank him for what he's doing, and all the other artists, Frank and Allie Lee and Claudia Schmidt, for their contributions for what they're doing tonight. So all the donations for tonight go to the artists, and I know that they would appreciate if you are generous with your tips and the tip jar. This is On Your Radar, and we're going to continue now with a duo from North Carolina. They are Frank and Allie Lee, and I think they're here. They come in.
Good. How
Hi, Frank,
are you?
and hi, Allie. How are you?
We're here. Oh, hang on.
I'm not hearing you very much.
Start.
Let's just make sure.
Check it out. Yeah, you hear us now.
Okay,
Great.
okay. Yep, that's okay.
Okay, now you disappeared.
Well, we are here.
Hang on. Something happened weird. I got a 911 call here. That's shouldn't be happening.
Always something. We tripped a breaker earlier and sparks were flying. It was, this live streaming is not for the faint of heart.
This is
Hey, John, just go ahead and use your laptop for us.
Yeah, I'm going to have to use the laptop.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, it's this is all live radio or live whatever.
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think. They stick with the phone, Rob.
We are coming to hear from
Hello to Rob.
Western North Carolina.
We don't have your audio on the phone anymore.
Okay. So I stay with the laptop then?
I think we're going to have to. I think your AirPods have done something to your phone again.
Okay. So, okay. Well, here we are.
Here we are.
Yep. I know.
We are thankful for all of our folks out there watching right now.
Okay.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Are we good now?
I'm good.
I'm good. Baby's good.
Let me make sure that I can't. Okay. All this high-tech stuff. Okay. Frank and Allie have been waiting patiently in Bryson City, North Carolina. And so for those of us who are curious, where is Bryson City?
We're on the south side of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. We're really far in the western corner of North Carolina.
We're like
that sounds beautiful. That's a great part.
Yeah, we're an hour west of Asheville, North Carolina. So we're
One of the most beautiful places in this whole
we
South.
love
I've
it.
spent,
Yep,
yeah.
we love it.
Hang on just a sec, folks.
You got it.
We've got all kinds of stuff happening in real time here.
That's right.
Where did you two meet?
You want to
Are
tell
you
the
from
story?
North Carolina originally?
Neither of
Yeah,
us is
there's
from
got to be a
here.
story.
Yes, we met at a folk festival in Angola, Indiana, in 2012.
Yeah.
And I had just started playing the banjo and got to hear Frank play with his band, the Freight Hoppers, up there on the stage, which completely blew my mind. And so we became friends on Facebook, and he ended up helping my band at the time tour down here in North Carolina 2 different summers. And later I quit my job as a school teacher, and he encouraged me to come to his banjo class at Augusta in Elkins, West Virginia. That was like 2015. And while we were there, he's like, why don't you come on a tour with me? Coming up in a few months. And I was like, okay, why not? Like, I'd quit my job. I was ready to do whatever. And so we had our first tour together in 2016, and that's when we started being Frank and Allie. We got married 2018, and we got baby due in 2 weeks.
Yeah, congratulations.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
That's a good sign. That's always my first question about married musical couples was which came first, the romance or the music. So in this case, it's obviously the music, but the romance isn't working out pretty fine itself. So do you feel that you guys are influenced by the music of North Carolina or Appalachia, particularly in terms of what you're doing?
Sure, absolutely, yes. But a lot of it comes from urban areas also, uh, simply because that's where the recording was being done early on. So anyway, yeah, a lot of our stuff was recorded in Atlanta because there were tons and tons of early country music recorded in Atlanta. And I'm from Atlanta originally, so I really took to that stuff. And but we play just a range of musics from different regions, but it's all old. And
Mostly kind of southern and Appalachian,
Yeah.
but a few pieces from like St. Louis area, Staggerly, for
Sure.
instance. And so, yeah, we just play what we like as long as it's old, pretty much.
Old but good, oldies but goodies.
yeah.
And so, tell me more about the freight hoppers, Frank. Are they still an ongoing concern?
Well, yeah, we do. We live in different parts of the country. There are 4 of us, and our bass player lives in New Hampshire, and David, our fiddle player, lives over in Raleigh, Durham, which is about 5 hours from us here in
Yeah,
Bryson City.
across the state. Yeah,
Yeah, so we do go and do jobs and music jobs and festivals. It's just we all have to fly to the destination, and so sometimes budgets are issues just because of what it costs us all to come together to do a job.
We did get to do a job right before we all went into shutdown mode. We got to play at an old time music gathering called Breaking Up Winter in the Nashville, Tennessee area in early March. And so that's a really happy memory. We got to go do that.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You lucked out there, didn't you? So, "Treat a Stranger Right" is the debut album from Frank and Allie Lee. Yep, I can match your. Yeah.
Technically, yes. We also
Uh,
recorded Frankly and Allie Burbrink have an album from 2018, but this is the first Frank and Allie Lee.
okay.
Yeah.
To be technically correct. So, and it did spectacularly well. It was #1 on the folk charts for 2 months, January and February. What was your reaction to that, dare I ask?
I'm not very happy that people would respond to this stuff that it's just not mainstream music at all. It's not what the masses are listening to necessarily. And as all folk music on these folk music stations, some of it's kind of obscure stuff. So yeah, it was a nice surprise for us amongst the folk music genre and how vague that kind of is, really. You know what I'm saying? Lot of stuff is
Yeah.
within that folk music. So these pieces that we put on this album to get that much attention is just really surprising in a happy way.
Well, you really nailed it. That's for sure. And the last thing I want to ask, I know you play not only a range of music, but a range of instruments. How many instruments between you do you play, do you figure,
Oh gosh.
Well, just the
roughly?
mainstream kind of your folky bluegrassy kind of things: banjo, fiddle, uh, banjo, fiddle.
Well,
bass,
he plays some
bass.
good upright bass, but he doesn't do that publicly. It's more just
Well,
for
we
jams
will,
and
but
stuff.
and we have a piano here in the house, and a 6-year-old already who's taking up guitar and violin, and so we're rambling now. I am.
I'll puff on this harmonica a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
we dabble on a lot of things.
Just yeah. Folk,
Well,
folk
thank you for
instruments.
sharing. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, well, thank you for sharing your home and your music. Please welcome Frank and Allie Lee to On Your Radar.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Sure.
All right, we're going to start with our title song from Treat a Stranger Right. It's called Everybody Ought to Treat a Stranger Right. We learned it from Blind Willie Johnson.
Goes like 1, 2.
Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Long way from home. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Hey, long way from home. Careful of how you treat a stranger. Might be lying, turn him away. Well, be fear that you may obtain it. When you drive him from your gate. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Long way from home. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Hey, long way from home. All of us down here are strangers. None of us have no home. Don't ever hurt your brother and cause him to pull his own. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Long way from home. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Hey, long way from home. Be mindful when you're speaking. Be careful how you go along. You must always treat a stranger right. Don't insult him in your home. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Long way from home. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Hey, long way from home. Christ came down as a stranger. He didn't have no home. He was cradled in the manger. And oxen kept him warm. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Long way from home. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Long way from home.
All right.
That's
Plenty of fun.
Treat a stranger right. So
We're just going to assume everything's going smoothly.
here comes a piece that we learned from folk music legend Leadbelly, and it's on our album Roll on Clouds that was released in 2018. We don't do this one all that often because the banjo requires a specific tuning that we only have one song that's in this tuning really right now that we're playing out. So
Well,
it's too much of a pain to just tune for
we
one
just-
song most of the time.
We just got it up where we like to sing it, I think,
Yeah.
is the issue.
Yeah, exactly. So, but since this is a short set, we decided we would treat our fans with a live version of Gallows Pole.
So this is on our first CD together, right?
It's on this.
Yeah.
Yep, Roll on Clouds.
One, two, ready, go.
About to bring me any silver, about to bring me any gold. Why you bring me dear father, keep me from the gallows pole.
Well, Santa brought you all my silver, Santa brought you all my gold, Santa brought you little everything, keep you from the gallows pole. What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole? What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole?
About to bring me any silver, about to bring me any gold. Why you bring me dear mother, keep me from the gallows pole.
Well, Santa brought you all my silver, Santa brought you all my gold, Santa brought you little everything to keep you from the gallows pole. What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole? What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole?
Well, love to bring me any silver, love to bring me any gold. Why do you bring me dear lover, to keep me from the gallows pole?
Love brought you all my silver, love brought you all my gold, love brought you little everything to keep you from the gallows pole. What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole? What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole? What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole? What did you bring me to keep me from the gallows pole? That's a lot of fun. We don't get to do it enough.
That's right.
So yeah, we'd have to bring it down, really just back down to B.
Yeah, usually that banjo stays in B. It's different from our other banjos because it has a skin head, it has nylon guitar strings on it,
Big
and
old nylon strings.
it's fretless also.
Has no frets on it, so it has a specific use to get a specific banjo sound. So then, next on the list. Oh, how much fun is that?
This coming up is one of the first pieces Frank taught me. It was before I moved to North Carolina. It was before he'd invited me to go on the tour. It was when the Freight Hoppers came up to Indiana for something, and I was there. I was living up there, and we snuck off during the break and he taught me this song. It's called The Sailor and the Soldier.
We learned this piece from Mike Seeger, and he influenced pretty much everybody in traditional music, I would say, these days, either directly or not. There's a sweet little piece called The Sailor and the Soldier. Sailor and a soldier were traveling one day. Said the sailor to the soldier, let us kneel down and pray. We'll pray for the welfare and the good of all men, and to everything I say to you say amen. For the young boys that stay home and plow and gain their maintenance by the sweat of their brow. Good luck and good fortune them always attend, and money aplenty, said the soldier, amen. Young girls that stay home and spin, nor go to night parties as all us have been. Good luck and good fortune them always attend, and sweethearts to court them, said the soldier, amen. Miser with his hands full of gold, he neither spends it nor lends it nor gives to the old. Bad luck and bad fortune them always attend, and Satan to get him, said the soldier, amen. So as the sailor and the soldier were traveling one day, said the sailor to the soldier, let us kneel down and pray. We'll pray for the welfare and the good of all men, and to everything I say to you say amen.
Pretty, honey.
Oh.
I have a nice memory of being on tour in Florida and some people waltzing to that. You remember that?
Well, no.
Oh, well, it might have been the same gig
But-
where I fainted, so.
Oh, now I was distracted by that. No, sure.
That was crazy. The only one and only time. Well, let's play Things in Life. You want to?
You bet. We
Okay.
don't have enough people waltzing at our shows.
It's good to see Renee and Audra out there. They're some of our friends. In fact, they both took my harmonica class
Wow.
during the shutdown times.
Very good to see
Yeah,
familiar
and Poppy
faces.
Don Billy, he's one of our friends. Isaac Doral is my cousin, so hello. Thank you for joining us.
Look at all the peeps.
Yeah. Here's one that's a little newer in our repertoire. We don't have it recorded, but we really love it. Learned it from Don Reno.
Let's try it out. 1, 2, 3. Those things in life, it makes us wonder why. Oh, the fairest love I
things in life, it makes us wonder why. I'd like to be some part of life with some good things to achieve. Just to know I've been through this cause would give my poor heart grief. Look up, look down, and on some road hang down your head and cry. For we often lose those things in life, it makes us wonder why.
Yay. Oh, that's a pretty one. I had to skip the fourth verse. It's just too sad.
Too sad. All right.
But it's good to see our friends Gail and Sarah and Jean out there. Jean's in Florida. She's a DJ.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Great.
That's great.
Next on the list, we can check this out.
I've endured.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that all right? You want to play my baby guitar?
You bet I do.
Okay. This guitar was a gift from a friend in Indiana. She found it in, gosh, I kind of forget the story, but it was like her, and it was like 5 people removed from her. It's like her friends, aunts, somebody's attic. Anyway, so it ended up with our family friend, and they didn't have a use for it, and so they gave it to me.
It's just
And I'm
amazing.
sad to say it sat around for a long time not getting played because it had nylon strings on it, which that's not kind of what I do on guitars. And then the bridge broke. And then we almost sold it.
Yeah,
then we
but
decided to
did.
fix it. And I'm so glad because it's little, cute, old, and free. My 4 favorite adjectives. Plus it sounds, I think, really good.
All right,
for
so
being
we're
so
going to be
little.
in the key of...
Let's be in the key
A.
of A.
All right, now this is...
I think this was in the right place.
Yeah, this little
actually.
capo is not going to work on your... This is a little parlor guitar that was made by Washburn. And it was somewhere around 1900 to 1920, this little guitar. And so, while it was really an amazing surprise when we realized just how great it sounds, it's fun to play. So,
And this banjo, while we're talking about our instruments, the pot Frank found on eBay after we had been on tour in Florida. We go there about once a year. We try to. And ran into a banjo with a pot like this, and it was just so unique and different for you banjo nerds out there. And then our friend Jeff in Bryson City built this neck for the banjo. He's a banjo builder. We've got other banjos of his that he's made. So we are very blessed with banjo player friends. All right, this piece is called I've Endured, and it comes from North Carolina, written by Ola Bell Reed. 2, 3, 4. Born in the mountain many years ago, I've trod the hills and valleys through the rain and snow. Seen the light between the baby kicking and the kitten running amok, I
saw the banjo jumping
forgot
around.
the third verse, but you forgive us.
Sometimes we're not sure if this is going to be a banjo-loving baby or not.
He's
He
like, get
starts
that out of
kicking.
here, Mom.
On occasion when she's
Oh,
playing,
dear.
like,
Well, let's send him off with that cowboy song. It's such a good,
Alright,
it's a
there
good one.
might
I'll
be a
take that.
cowboy.
I'll take my
Okay,
baby
okay.
guitar back. Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are live from our home right now, and this probably will be one of our last live streams. We've been doing pretty consistent live stream concerts here from home since middle of March, and we've got our baby coming up due in 2 weeks, and he's gonna need a little extra care, so we're just kind of clearing our schedule for the fall for the time being. So maybe if we get back to doing live streams, we'll just be having the baby here with us. But we're gonna take a little break, focus on our family for a while.
So we're going to send you away with another piece we learned from Lead Belly. And Lead Belly was accompanied by Alan Lomax and did a lot of concerts back in the 1940s. And he wrote this piece back in the 1940s called When I Was a Cowboy. Sorry, guys.
It's inevitable.
When I Was a Cowboy.
All right.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When I was a cowboy out on the western plains.
When I was a cowboy out on the western plains, well, I made about $500,000 pulling on the bridle rein. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay.
Oh, the hardest battle I was ever on the western plains.
Yes, so the hardest guy that was ever on the western plains was when me and that bunch of cowboys running into Jesse James. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay.
Me and that bunch of cowboys running to Jesse James.
Certain me and that bunch of cowboys running to Jesse James. Yeah, the bullets that's falling just like a shower of rain. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay.
It's my favorite verse. But if your house catches fire, there ain't no one around.
Yeah, if your house catches fire and there ain't no one around, throw your jelly out the window and let the doggone shack burn down. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay.
So come all you cowboys, don't you want to go?
What's come, all you cowboys, and don't you want to go? Well, come meet the Lone Ranger on the range of the buffalo. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay. Come-a-kai-kai-iki, come-a-kai-kai-iki, yay.
Oh, thank you so much, John, for having us. And
We got through it.
Tom sounded great. Can't wait to hear Claudia. And we just encourage everybody to throw a little bit in the tip jar for all the performers to share. And if anybody feels inclined to check out
Well said.
frankandallie.com, we've got handmade t-shirts that Frank prints. We've got CDs, we've got DVDs, we've got instructional materials, and we'd love to stay in touch.
Yeah.
Well, I think in addition to saying old-time music, you could say good time, feel good music.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we like to think so.
anyway, I've got a little bit of an echo here. Hang on. That's not your problem. Okay, here we go. So anyway, yeah, good judgment about the tip. Do you know when? Well, you don't. You know when the baby's coming, but do you know the sex of the same?
Yes, he is a baby boy, and we've gotten some really nice ultrasound pictures. We know he's 8.5 pounds already, so he's a big boy. He's eating well.
Whoa.
And we have shared with our fans that he is going to have some special conditions, but I don't want to get into that right now. But we know he'll be a little bit special, but
Okay.
he'll be able to have a good life, and we're going to do all we can for him. So.
Lots of music.
Well, best of luck to you and with the music and yeah, music power. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Frank and Allie Lee here on your radar. And yes, once again, I would heartily urge you to go to the tip jar at paypal.me/onyourradar2020. They have sure have fans, and I think they made a lot more fans with their sets tonight. And I think it's only proper that people show how much appreciation you have for it. Now, next up is somebody that I've known for more than 40 years, and it's really a pleasure to welcome to On Your Radar for the first time, Claudia Schmidt.
40 years.
There you are. Typically, On Your Radar started as kind of up and coming people, and you certainly are not at that point in your career and then some. But I thought, maybe there are some people in the East who aren't as familiar with your following as in the Midwest or whatever. And if we can get more people to like Claudia Schmidt, it's all on a good cause.
Well, I feel like when I hear people talking about emerging artists, and they always assume it's new young artists, but as an artist, as a writer and a musician, I feel like I'm continuously emerging. So I would like to represent the elder emerging artists
there you go.
Among us.
Well, you're like the chrysalis, the butterfly of songwriters. You and I first met in the 70s. And where did you come from to get to Chicago?
Well, I started in Michigan, and I ran away with a theater group after high school and toured for a year with them all over the country, and came back to Michigan, was sort of a lost soul, and ended up going to Chicago for a secretary job, a secretary and office manager job. And in fact, it was my friend from my hometown, an ex-minister friend of mine, who drove me to my first audition, a lunchtime audition at the old Amazing Grace Coffee House when it was still at Shanley Hall on the Northwestern University campus. And that was really...
Yes.
That was really the beginning. I had no idea that I was walking into this hotbed of music. I didn't have any ambitions about that. I didn't have any big plans, goals. I just stumbled into this incredible wonderland of music and clubs, and that was it. Yeah. I consider myself, I consider this whole 46 years I've been doing music as more of a career.
It was really quite a scene. The big three at that time were Steve Goodman, John Prine, and Bonnie Kolbach. But then this guy from Detroit came in around 1976. He'd established himself with the Dutchman, which was a hit for Steve Goodman. And you, in turn, became a close friend of Michael Smith, did you not?
Yeah. We got to know each other, he and Barbara, because we had the Detroit connection too, with my Michigan roots, and they had lived in Detroit before they moved to Chicago. So I think I first heard them play actually at this place called the Raven Gallery in Detroit before we reconnected in Chicago. Because his song, I learned Spoon River actually through hearing Larry Rand and Betsy Redhead do it at somebody else's trebles. But I heard them sing Vampire, and it took me 2 years to track him down and sit him down with a tape recorder and get him to play the song. Finally, we were in the same place at the same time so that I could learn it. And such is his music, it just takes you so deep. I'm actually working on a new song right now that's not ready for prime time, but it started hitting me during this, after the hurricane, called the day after Michael died. Maybe when I finish it, I'll send it to you. So, but I'm in process with it right now.
Well, I hope you will. Yeah, he was really a very special writer. He had such interesting imagery, and he's so beloved by fellow musicians as well as the folk music community. And I think you were instrumental in getting a gig for him with the Steppenwolf Company, which was kind of a breakthrough. Tell us about that.
Well, that was through my friends Frank Galati and Peter Amster. And Frank worked with Steppenwolf Theater, and he was getting ready to do Grapes of Wrath, and Frank has this great sense of the people's music, making things current and eternal. And so it just seemed like Michael Smith would be an incredible person to do that music. And it turned out, of course, that he was. Ended up not only doing the music for the Steppenwolf show, but actually going on to be part of the Broadway production of Grapes of Wrath as well. And it's just, he had such an empathy, a compassion, that wonderful combination of wryness and poignancy, all of that coming into his music. Like so many people have been playing all these really poignant songs of his, the ones that we love, but he also wrote some just gut-splittingly funny songs that I heard him do. And we'll be delving into the treasure of his music for a long, long time to come. And so he left us with a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And people should keep digging because there is so much there. To what extent do you think storytelling factors into what you're doing on stage?
Well, it sort of always has. And I think that's what's so fun about, our three entities tonight is that all of the songs tell stories in a certain way. And that's sort of the heart of folk music, I think. It's not like the cerebral pop song, this happened to me, and then me, and then this happened to me. And it just goes deeper. It plumbs into a kind of universal place that becomes available to everybody that's listening. And it binds us together. This kind of music binds us together. And Michael certainly had an incredible gift for that, and the characters that he spun in his songs, whether they were real characters from his past or fictional characters like the Dutchman, it didn't matter. He really had a handle on that art form, and that's always been, for me too, music has been about unifying people. It hasn't. I think that's why I never never really got gung-ho into protest music. I called what I did attest music. I wanted to find the place where a room full of people could be together and share the space and share the air and share the experience through the songs, and through experiencing the songs in a subjective way, in that weird paradoxical thing that then makes it universal.
Well, now I know that it's been a while since you were in Chicago. When did you leave? And I know you've had some adventures along the way to the East Coast.
Well, I was only in Chicago for like 2 years. So much happened in that little amount of time. And then I moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin to go back to college. And then I moved to Seattle. And then I moved to Milwaukee. And then I moved to Beaver Island. And then I moved to Minneapolis briefly, and then back to Beaver Island. And then I moved to Traverse City. And then I moved to Minneapolis. And then finally landed out here in Connecticut about 3.5 years ago. I fell deeply in love and followed my heart out here. Never really thought about living on the East Coast in my life, but here I am. And, you know, in that interim, I went to college. I dropped out of college. I had a bed and breakfast, and then I had a restaurant. And then, you know, I sort of kind of moved away from the music world for a while and then back into the music world. And I mean, I never left it entirely, but life has just continued unfolding. And the music has always been part of it. And I've written through all of it. I've written poems, I've written songs, I've recorded albums through all of it, reflecting the different things that were going on. It's just been that thread that's been there the whole time, and even now in captivity here in our homes and our lands, there's the music continues. There's so much going on, and that doesn't stop because I'm not on the road going around to places, which I miss deeply. I miss so deeply being in rooms with people. As somebody I heard on the radio recently describe it, sharing air together. You know, it's communion, it's sacred. Live performance is a sacred ritual to me and always has been. So I have great anguish sometimes I have grief about not getting to do that. So I'm so grateful to you and other people who have been trying to pull things together this way, at least get us together in our little squares, you know, and play some music and hear some music. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Always emerging as an artist in every way.
Yes.
Claudia Schmidt, it's so delightful to have you on your radar. Please welcome Claudia Schmidt.
I did come upon a river of tears, the grief of my sisters and brothers. It had grown so deep, I could not cross over to continue on my journey. It was wild and black, and it threw out a spray that stained my garments blood red. I was filled with fear, I was filled with pain, and I thought I would never cross over. I did build a raft from the bones of my mother who had drowned in that river of sorrow. I did bind those bones all one to another with the ropes of the captives now free. I did steer that raft with a long straight pole from a tree that my father had planted, and I set off into that treacherous flow with a trembling hope in my heart. And as I crossed that angry stream, I looked in the water all swirling, and it showed me the faces of the ones I had killed by refusing to fight for their freedom. And it showed me the faces of the ones who had died while trying to end the struggles. And their voices cried out, "Get to the shore and continue this work we begun." And the water it dragged, and the water it pulled, and the pain it threatened to drown me. But I held my course and bore down on the pole from the tree that my father had planted. And I fell exhausted onto the shore as the raft splintered all into pieces. Then a smile came to my weary face, for I heard those voices singing songs like tears, songs like rivers. I have carried them all on my journey, and it's these I'll sing until that river runs as dry as the bones of my mother. And it's these I'll sing until that river's but a valley where sorrow once raged. River of Tears. Hello. It's so great to be part of On Your Radar tonight because John Platt and I go way, way back to around the time that song got written, way back in the beginnings of my performing back in Chicago. And he was actually living in Chicago at the time, DJing on WXRT, the indie rock station. So we were kind of growing up together in a funny way in Chicago. So it seems special to do that song tonight. It was a song that came actually literally out of a dream. Well, we are a people of movement. I mean, we are suffering in this pandemic with this stationary setup. And I mean, especially for me, I've spent my entire life almost in movement. Born in Detroit, I call myself baptized with motor oil. So not to be able to be on these trips has been a hardship. So I'm going to take us on a little trip. I'm not going to say virtual. I might say vicarious, with a tune that I wrote that sort of tries to encapsulate what it feels like to be out there on the road, what I call continuous flow driving, when you have to go at least 50 or 60 miles without ever coming to a complete stop, just gently braking, downshifting, and you kind of get into that altered state that travel can be. I'm going to try a little something tonight. I'm going to move from movement into the movement. And maybe in honor of the fact that John now, who does his show in the Bronx, Sunday Suppers, and has me still in rotation. So we're going round and round. And I feel like I want to kind of dedicate this to that as well. So we're going to start with a love song for a road sign called Waltzing at the 45th Parallel. walking and we're moving and we're marching. John Lewis walked onto the other side just a short time ago. I want to play a song that he inspired after I heard an interview of his on the eve of the 50th anniversary of the March from Selma, and dedicated to the idea that those brave people, including John Lewis, started a march that obviously is not completed. But what seems to be happening now is we're trying like the Dickens to see that it is complete, and we turn what he referred to that day, the state troopers on the other side of the bridge, the sea of blue kind of standing there in resistance, that we get to finish that walk in his honor and the honor of all the people who have struggled over the decades to bring voting rights and equal justice for every human being. That's where this song came from. There's a chorus that comes up in it for you. It started out peaceful, just like they planned. 600 people walking hand in hand. 2 by 2 they made their way into that bloody fray. Here we go. We're still on the bridge, 50 years gone by. Still on the bridge, looking hate in the eye. We can't cross the bridge until we turn them around. Oh, silent marchers, Montgomery bound. The right to vote, their common ground. Selma behind, what lay ahead would leave 3 people dead. Oh, we're still on the bridge, 50 years gone by. Still on the bridge, looking hate in the eye. We can't cross the bridge until we turn them around. Bridge and the angry blue sea at the bottom of the ridge. Old Edmund was a Klansman, and here's the shame: the bridge still bears his name. Oh, we're still on the bridge, 50 years gone by. We're still on the bridge, looking hate in the eye. We can't cross the bridge till we turn them around. Oh, 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 oh. Selma to Montgomery can't be measured in miles, you see, but in the courage to stand our ground and turn this hate around. Oh, we're still on the bridge, 50 years gone by. Still on the bridge, looking hate in the eye. We can't cross the bridge till we turn them around. Yeah, we're still walking, still on the bridge, 50 years gone by. Still on the bridge, looking hate in the eye. We can't cross the bridge until we turn them. No, we can't cross the bridge until we turn them. Can't cross the bridge till we turn them around. We can't cross the bridge. We got to turn them around. Yeah, we gotta turn them around to cross that bridge. Got to turn them around. Whoa. Movement. waltzing at the 45th parallel, and still on the bridge, where we are right now. I have my handkerchief. It's the dog days of August, so Lord knows I might have to do a little dabbing through the course of this concert, but I have my sort of historic Minnesota handkerchief that my friend Andrea sent me a long time back that's got landmarks and special places marked all along it. And many of those places I might have actually been this spring and summer in my travels. So if I dab, I'll try to dab on someplace specific and remarkable for me. So this pandemic, I mean, we have to talk about it, right? It's what we've got. It's where we are. And I found myself kind of having these fever dreams. Oh, I wanted to point out my shirt, by the way, which just came in the mail yesterday from Strong Women. It's just numbers, but it says so much. Anyway, I was having these fever dreams where I would wake up in the night and have a whole sort of scenario going on, words and melody, and I would get up and have to finish it. And this one came from a sort of offhanded utterance from my partner, Mark, which became the title of the song. And it's kind of about passion during the pandemic, lust in the time of COVID. I was thinking about how, in a way, masks are traditionally, historically kind of mysterious and romantic. But it doesn't really seem that way right now. And I was thinking about how unfortunate it is for people who have had a lot of Botox, because they have no, like I've always been told by photographers, oh, you smile with your eyes, which means I get really crinkly and have lots of wrinkles. And that's okay by me. But you think about it now, somebody has a mask on and they're saying, I'm so happy. I'm beside myself with happiness. Nothing happens. So I feel bad for them. No Botox for me. By the way, I'm just crinkling up a storm here. So here's my take on passion during the pandemic. I call it the Don't Touch My Face Tango. You step into my room and every molecule's on fire. You take me in your arms and I am molten with desire. Your hands commence their clever dance with mischief, art, and grace. Just don't touch my face. You've the power to melt my heart with just one longing look. You're 50 movies wrapped in one, you're better than the book. You whisper in my ear and I'm beyond all time and place. Please, don't touch my face. Don't touch my face. I see you reaching. Don't touch my face. I am beseeching. You can touch me almost any place. Just don't touch my face. You're sweet incendiary, and I tremble when you're near. You never cease to thrill me with your beauty, wit, and cheer. You're moving close, I'm helpless now. My blood, my passion race. Now, darling, just don't touch my face. Don't touch my eek. Don't touch your no. Don't touch my face. Don't touch my face. Tango. It's one for you lovers out there. A few years back, I got to write some songs for a musical about Amelia Earhart, which alas never came to anything. The playwright died of cancer and things went by the wayside, but I got some wonderful songs out of it, and I got to learn so much about Amelia and how important it is to have a dream and to believe in that dream and to follow that dream. Even in times like this, she didn't have an easy time of it coming into her celebrity, and even after that, she struggled being a woman in that time. and wanting to do something so outrageous for anybody, much less a woman. She's credited with the quote, "Never interrupt somebody in the middle of doing something you said couldn't be done." This is the little aria I wrote for Amelia called "I Can't Wait to Fly." Everyone thinks when the eagle flies, it savors of freedom of flight. But maybe we anthropomorphize just because it's a beautiful sight. When the fledgling falls or is pushed from the nest, is it instinct alone that prevails? And who can explain the way we're possessed to go up, up, up with the wind at our tails? But there's one thing as clear as the sky on a day that was clearly meant to fly on. Each time I leave the ground, it feels brand new. Each time I touch back down, I'm thrilled clear through. Even walking's an extra kick when you recently sailed the sky. Oh, and I can't wait to fly. We like to think wherever we're not is the place we must surely belong, chasing ourselves to the next perfect spot just to find we brought trouble along. That stowaway trouble won't make a peep till we're damn sure we left it behind. And it prickles our skin while we toss in our sleep till we wake with a restless heart and mind. But there's one place where a mighty calm is as certain to soothe as old Gilead's balm is. Each time I leave the ground, it feels brand new. Each time I touch back down, I'm thrilled clear through. Kick when you've recently sailed the sky. Oh, and I can't wait to for Amelia Earhart and all of us dreamers. All of us dreamers. I'm going to do a quick retuning here. I love the premise of this show, which would normally be a live show in a club on your radar. And John, who is such a masterful DJ and also student of music. He's so perceptive and inclusive and generous. And the fact that he chose me to be part of these three with Thom Chacon and Frank and Allie Lee, all such different kinds of music. But he sort of sees the threads in between them. And I so cherish that. I'm going to go back to Chicago to wind up this little concert of mine. This song doesn't come from that time. The words I came across a while ago, they belong to a Swiss philosopher named Henri Frédéric Amiel from the late 1800s. But they speak so much to what keeps us connected as humanity, you know, the African word Ubuntu, which means I am because you are, you know, we're the connection of us. And I feel like we need to celebrate that so much now, especially as an antidote to some of the other stuff going on in our culture. So I put a melody to it, and it's no accident, I guess. I wasn't thinking about this, that it's kind of a madrigal, that it requires sort of a cooperative effort to totally pull it off. But when I sing it, I'm going to sing it for with the idea that you will join in with me. I'll kind of line out your part and I'll go through it a repeat time so that you can join in with me on it. I just want to say the words because they're so beautiful. Dear friends, we know that life is short and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel with us. So be swift to love, make haste to be kind. Dear friends, we know that life is short and we do not have much time, much time, much time, much time, much time, much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel with us. So be swift to love, to love. So be swift to love, to love. Make haste to be kind. Again. Dear friends, we know that life is short and we do not have much time, much time, much time, much time, much time, much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel with us. So be swift to love, to love. So be swift to love, to love. Make haste to be kind. So be swift to love, to love. So be swift to love, to love. Make haste to be kind. So when I was a baby performer in Chicago, I received such kindness in my beginnings, you know, people like Bob Gibson and Brian Bowers and Steve Goodman who would let me do opening sets for them at the clubs in Chicago, and it went a long way toward welcoming me into the musical community and giving me a sense of worth and self-confidence. And one of the people I met early on who also was kind and gracious and has inspired all of us was Michael Smith, whose music lives on with us forever. This is a song of his that one of the earliest songs I learned when I was first performing in Chicago that I wanted to wind up with, just to bring it all around again, John, the rotation, you know. Thanks so much. All of the riverboat gamblers are losing their shirts. Boys sleep in the dirt. You know and I know there never was reason to hurt. When all of our lives were entwined to begin with here in Spring River. All of the calico dresses, the gingham and the lace are up in the attic with grandfather's Derringer words whispered down in the parlor, coming right through the morning here in Spoon River. The riverboat gamblers are losing their shirts, and all of the brave Union soldier boys sleep in the dirt. You know and I know there never is reason to hurt when all our lives were entwined to begin with here in Spoon River. Here in Spoon River. Here in Spoon River. Thank you so much.
Are we fair?
That was fun, you guys.
Oh, it sure was. Yay, everybody. Yay.
Yay.
Frank and Allie, Claudia, great sets. It
Yeah.
was a pleasure. Here's
Yeah.
Dylan.
Hey,
He
Dylan.
loved it too.
Aw, hey, Dylan.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Rob.
Yes.
Thanks,
Glad
John.
you
Thanks,
getting
Rob.
mowed, Allie.
Allie, good luck with that baby.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you.
Thank you so much.
We Hazel Bean was born April 6th in the middle of the pandemic. Dylan's
Oh
little
my
sister.
gosh.
So we've
Wow.
got a little baby girl.
Oh.
Wonderful.
Hey, John, did you unmute your mic? Oh, this technology.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I'm going to jump in. Thank you so much from John Platt's On Your Radar. I know John's like futzing with something back there. I think he's teleported. Oh, wait, do we have you?
Is it the
You
check?
do.
You got the check.
I officially am inept. That's what I learned.
There we go.
Anyway, thanks again to Claudia and to Thom and future kids, especially Rob Hinkles, who's had to troubleshoot of duty as a producer. As always, to Gordon Nash, the social media maven, to my media sponsors, Rita Caro of Acoustic Live NY and Laura Mogul of the Landmark on Main Street. And thank you for those of you who hung in there while we had all our technical difficulties. Please remember that you can go to paypal.me on your radar to do your bit to thank these artists, and tell your friends that if you missed tonight, it's at Facebook Live and at YouTube. It's another way to show your appreciation. And always remember you can join John Platt's On Your Radar Facebook group. And I have another triple bill coming in September with John and Julie Pennell, Jordy Bazan, and Mary Elaine Jens, somebody from Nashville, somebody from Houston, and somebody from Brooklyn. I hope wherever you are, you will join me then. And thanks once again for being part of On Your Radar tonight.
John Platt, thank you for your support of our music all these years. We love you, man.
Blessings. Yeah. Yeah.
you, John.
And may we all get the rain we need.
Amen.
Okay. It's all a big community.